Hi, library friends. Welcome to today's family story time on race and diversity at the Red Bank Public Library. I'm Sira Williams. I'm the children's librarian here, and it's November. It's Native American Heritage Month, and that's going to be the focus for our program today. But with all of the things happening in the news and swirling around our heads, I want to acknowledge first that you young people are just really growing up in some heavy, serious, historic times. And I want you to know that it's okay to have big, big feelings about all of the things that are happening. And I also want you to know that there are some things that you can do to help yourself and to also help others at this time. So one of the things that you can do is to practice some mindfulness. I hope that maybe you do this already at school or with your families, but mindfulness is a way to calm your mind and refocus on yourself in the midst of all the chaos that's swirling around. So if you can find a couple minutes to find a quiet place, to close your eyes, to be still, to take some deep breaths, it's going to help you. It will help you. We did a program on finding peace of mind, family story time that you can find on your YouTube channel. That might be helpful to you if you want to check that out. But practice mindfulness every day. The other thing you can do is to talk. Talk with each other. Talk with your friends, your teachers, and your family. That's what this program is meant to encourage you to do. Don't just have one and done conversations, but continuing conversations, not just about the news. That's important to get some perspective and to understand what's going on, but to also talk about your feelings and your thoughts and what's going on inside. When you share with each other, you're going to find that you're not alone, and you'll find support and help. So be sure to do that and make time for that with each other. The other thing you can do is turn the focus off yourself and onto others and try to be of service. That you can do by just being a good listener for somebody else and being a good friend. Or you can give of yourself through your time, through donating your time or items or services to local organizations and charities. One thing I know is that when you give of yourself and you help others, you also help yourself. That's true. And so by doing all of these things, it will help to strengthen you in your mind and your body and your spirit. And that's one thing that we've talked about before too. I brought out my old flashcard for us to remember the importance of being strong in our mind and our body and our spirit. That helps you to be your best self, to be confident in yourself, and to face your challenges and difficult times with strength and confidence. And believe it or not, the story we're going to read today is going to bring us back to some of these ideas. We're going to read this book called My Powerful Hair by Carole Lindstrom and illustrated by Steph Littlebird. It's a really good book. We're going to learn about some Native American traditions and history, and we're also going to learn about the importance of hair. And we're going to talk about braids a little bit later. Before I read our story and get to that, I want to talk about heritage and the importance of our Native American heritage. The word heritage is referring to history and culture and traditions. And as Americans, we need to always remember it's really part of our American history to know the legacy of our Native and Indigenous people. And we call them Indigenous people because that means they were the first people to live on this continent. And it's amazing to know that Native Americans were here thousands and 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 thousands, thousands and thousands, thousands and thousands and thousands of years. before any European settlers even stepped foot on this continent. Wow, that means anywhere you are in America right now, there's a legacy of indigenous people there. Like this library, this town of Red Bank is on the land of the Lenni Lenape people. And there are so many names of the river outside my window, the Navesink River, towns, streets that are named their original indigenous names. I bet that's true of wherever you are. Do you know about it? I want you to learn about your local Native American history this month. It's so important. The other thing to know is that once those settlers did come here from Europe, the Native Americans over time were forced off of their land, forced to resettle in reservations that were far, far away from where they came from. That their children were also forced to go to boarding schools, that means schools away from home, and their families, where they were stripped of their culture. The whole purpose of the schools was to rid them of their culture and their traditions. The children were not allowed to wear their traditional clothing, to speak their languages, or to wear their hair in their traditional styles. Their hair was cut. And we're going to see reflections of that in the book that we read today. But these kinds of experiences are very traumatic, and they affect families and communities and this culture for generations and generations. And these experiences happened not that long ago, really, in our American history. And so it's important for us to know that and to understand that there are millions, I'm going to use my fingers again, millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of Native Americans who are still here in our communities today, and they are really striving to keep their traditions and their culture and their history alive. And so that's what Native American Heritage Month is about. Let's read our story. We're going to read about a modern Native American girl, and this story is cool because it bounces between her current experience and then the teachings of her ancestors. And you're not going to be able to keep your eye off of these illustrations. They're amazing, they're colorful, they're vibrant, they're full of like energy. They jump off the page. So here we go. I can't wait for my hair to grow. Mom never had long hair. She was told hers was too wild. Nakomi's couldn't have long hair. Hers was taken. You see her at one of these schools with her hair being cut? This is her grandmother. Our ancestors say our hair is our memories, our source of strength, an extension of us. When Nimishumis taught me how to fish for the first time, my hair was at my ears. This is her grandfather. His stories and the memories from that day are woven into my hair. Our ancestors say we grow our hair long to be close to Mother Earth. When my baby brother was born, my hair touched my shoulders. The gift of welcoming him into the world is woven into my hair. Our ancestors say our hair carries energies and power. It's a celebration of our lives. When my cousins taught me how to make moccasins, My hair was past my shoulders. All of the laughter and stories from that day are woven into my hair. Our ancestors say when a loved one braids your hair, it reinforces the sacredness of your relationship. When my hair reached the middle of my back, Auntie Delia braided it so I could dance at powwow. All of her teachings and prayers are woven into my hair. Our ancestors say our hair is our medicine. The vibrancy of our culture and our connections to the earth and to each other are woven through our hair. When Nimishumis journeyed on to the spirit world, my hair was past my waist. I cut it. I sent it into the spirit world with him so that he could have my energies. I'm growing my hair long again. Mom says she wants to grow hers too. We'll do it together. That's the end. Didn't you learn a lot about the importance of hair and the traditions of this Native American girl? I really like this story. I want to read to you, of course, like most of my books, it has an author's note. I just want to read this little bit to you to really sum up what we learned in this book, okay? It says, Native Indigenous peoples believe that hair holds strength and power. Some tribes may be different in how they wear their hair and the specific traditions they honor, but a common thread across many indigenous cultures is the importance of hair. Hair is a physical manifestation of the spirit. Cutting, burying, and burning hair carry strong significance and meaning. You saw this in the book, right? In some tribes, it's a tradition to cut your hair and bury it with a loved one for them to bring energies along on their spirit journey. Hair is an extension of Native peoples and holds dreams, memories, joys, trials, tribulations, and triumphs. Hair is a living scrapbook, always carried with us, giving strength and courage. Yeah, did you notice how her memories, like she tied her memories to the length of her hair? So when my baby brother was born, my hair was this long. When I learned to make moccasins, it was this long. When I got to dance in the powwow, it was this long. I think that's a cool concept. I like that. And when she got to dance in the powwow, she got to get her hair braided. So let's talk about braids and the importance of braids. Do you know how to braid? I want to teach you. I want to teach you because it's not hard. And it's something every kid should know how to do, like tying a shoe. First of all, okay, pretend this is a braid coming from my hair. You need 3 strands. Could be hair, could be yarn, could be anything, but you braid with 3, okay? And all you do, you tie them together up at the top, and then you take turns, alternating to put one in the middle. So you start at one side. Oh, come on, Sira. And you put it in the middle. And then you take the other side and you put it in the middle. I use these 3 colors so you could see the difference. Taking this side, putting it in the middle, this side, and putting it in the middle. That's it. One side to the middle, next side to the middle. Oh, I picked these colors. Remember how she said the ancestors say that hair ties you to the earth? Well, I picked these colors because they remind me of the earth. The brown is like the earth, the light blue is like the sky, and the dark blue is like the ocean. I thought that was a good idea. Guess what? The other thing we learned was that hair is a symbol of strength and power. And you can see when you're braiding that these individual strands are not very strong, but when you braid them together, this braid is very strong. And that's just a nice symbol of that concept. Guess what else I read in an article is that some tribes consider the 3 strands of a braid to represent the mind, the body, and the spirit. I told you it was going to take us back to what we were talking about before. I think that is so cool. So much symbolism in all of these things. So, talking about what we were talking about before, I'm not going to put my braid down because I think that if you practice braiding today, that's a good mindfulness exercise for you because it's simple, it's not hard. It's not hard. It does take some practice, but you'll get it. It's simple, but it takes focus and it's repetitive. And if you find a quiet spot, maybe you could make a friendship bracelet for somebody, that just doing this will help to take your mind off of some of your stresses and worries and help you focus on something. And that's a good mindfulness exercise too. And the other thing we talked about earlier was spending time with others, talking, sharing, learning from each other, and giving of ourselves to others. And I think we saw that in this story as she spent time with her grandfather and her cousins and her family, learning her traditions and having those special experiences. And she carried those in her hair, not just her hair, but also in her spirit. And that lifted her up. And so you see that learning your history and your ancestry and your culture and your traditions helps you know yourself better. And it gives you a sense of pride. And that should make you stand a little bit taller and to shine your light a little bit brighter. It's really important. So I encourage you to learn about your own family history and traditions and cultures. That's definitely something that you should always be talking about and having continuing conversations about. But don't forget the importance of learning about other people's cultures and traditions too. That's what our Heritage Months are all about. We did do a whole nother race and diversity program on culture and color. That's also on our YouTube channel. This is my visual from that kind of explains all of the things that contribute to people's cultures, from the people to their history, their art, music, and literature, and fashion, their family and the importance of community in that culture, their education and the traditions and things that get passed on from one generation to another, as we just learned about today. Activism, I put to represent the issues that are important. Every culture has things that are important to them, and their faith traditions. And last but not least, and most tasty, is food. Food is a great way to express culture and a fun way to learn about other people's cultures. And that gets us to Thanksgiving, that we're also celebrating this month. So definitely take advantage of this opportunity to learn about Indigenous cultures, celebrate the holiday. I want you to spread some peace and love to everyone that you meet today and every day. I made big peace, big love, because the world needs it today and always. But this is from me to you. Thanks for joining me today. Please take some of this and pass it on. Bye, friends. See you next time.